Derivatives trading involves substantial risk of loss and is not suitable for all investors. Past performance is not necessarily indicative of future results.
So stressful when the world's on fire. Good God. I can't look at this, guys. Like, my strategy is you buy it and you hope that you got a good spot. Yeah, but we all think you're crazy. You don't fight this. No way. The markets are freaking out and you don't think that anything is wrong? Come back tomorrow and I'll lose it all. Should be fun. Good morning, everybody. It is the 16th. This is Thursday. We got a ton of news on the docket. Got retail sales, ECB press conference, jobless claims, Philadelphia Fed, and a couple of big numbers here. Market is starting to, I don't know, it's being a little, it's wavering a little. Let's call it. Let's come over to the charts. Yesterday, difficult day for retail trading, I felt. I don't know. I wasn't trading very seriously yesterday, but I did take some trades in the E-mini. I think I was trying short, if I recall correctly. But look at this. We did end up lower overall on the day. But big up, big down. And volatility is decreasing too, which is kind of funny. Anyways, we'll see what it brings. I think that a lot of this is just because we're at long-term resistance. So I won't be surprised to see a lot of middling around here, right? Treasuries, they took a pretty good plunge. Came all the way back. I was quite surprised. Oil also big down and up yesterday. Kind of just flat for the most part. I don't want to say flat, but they just kind of come back to the middle of that. Gold not really doing it much of anything interesting. Euro still continues its slow march upwards. You can see over here on the currencies, gold down a little bit. I mean, the dollar did recover a little bit of its losses, so you can see there's definitely some risk-off sentiment coming into the market here. There's Uzi. Good morning. We updated our little indicator that Uzi has been kind of helping me test, and I'm kind of excited. I think want to try our experiment in the treasuries again today. But I'm losing track of what I'm gonna say. Yeah, I think we're gonna try our experiment again today. I've tried a couple of different things. You want to see something interesting? You see this chart? Well, I'll make it full screen here. This chart right here in the 10-year. This one is like I'm looking for the maximum that's put on the DOM, right? Well, this one I'm looking for the minimum that's put on the DOM. And when you do that, the difference between the bids and offers is much more extreme. Not what I expected. Not what I expected at all. So
Uzi Knesset says cost basis levels held pretty solid in ZB.
Yeah, now so it's going to be interesting because it looks like they're selling it right now, right? Like they're at the high of the day. Well, if we're gonna do some market making, I think
Uzi
we should wait
Knesset
till
says
after
like
the
to
news.
the
Right?
damn tick astonished face.
Yeah, right. I bet. Well, now the other thing that I've been wondering, I need to stick it on there is how well it does with what do we call this? The VWAP. What does it look like compared to the VWAP? I don't have that. Oh, did I kill my cumulative delta chart? I think it did. That's unfortunate. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I deleted it. That's so dumb. That was dumb. 3 minutes. got this, Seth. Chart. Yes. Minute. 5-minute candlestick. Yeah. Cool. Boom, 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 boom. Oh, you know what else? Also over here. Okay. We're gonna do min. Cool. Okay. Then over here, indicators. And I'm going to want inventory too. And I'm going to put on Sims cumulative delta. And I'm going to put on the built-in order flow VWAP. No bands. And tick replay. Probably crashed NinjaTrader there. Yep. Oh. One of these is causing this to auto scale. It might be mine. Okay, so they're all thoroughly pulled for the data.
Uzi Knesset says may take some live trades off inventory Indy. I got a few bucks I can risk on it. I'll keep it light and tight, but I may try it winking face.
Gotcha. Cool. Higher than forecast. The unemployment claims. Slightly higher. What about my retail sales? X Auto's higher, 7.3 versus 5. So continuing jobless claims was less than expected. Initial jobless claims was more than expected.
Uzi Knesset says I'll wanna look for a pullback to those levels, and as you mentioned, signs of like defending those prices. Don't wanna get caught in a total flip.
Right. I think I want to take a short here. So in the treasury, that's what I'm going to do. I want the treasury, and I want it to come down to the other side. So I will take it off at 12.
Uzi Knesset says oh wow, that was the news block. Almost missed it completely. Not much reaction.
Yeah, it really didn't move. I think that they have reason to. So let me just go through the numbers again. Retail sales ex autos was 7.3% versus 5%. That's pretty good. Oh, we're getting the Philly. Philly was 24 versus 20. And initial jobless claims was 1,300,000 versus 1,250,000. So the initial jobless claims was about 50,000 higher than expected, but the continuing jobless claims was less than expected by about 300,000. So I think that the Philadelphia Fed Manufacturing Index and the retail sales being good are really what matters. The only number here that's actually bad is the initial jobless claims, and that is just only barely. Like it's not really a significant thing. So I think that the E-mini, even though it's kind of moving around here, I think that the E-mini could move up off of this. And I'm already seeing that the market makers were trying to get it on the offer. So my play is that we're going to move down to test the other side of the spread, basically. So they're going to come down to 12. Okay, well, they just ticked up, so gonna be dead wrong. Hmm. Okay. So I was definitely wrong. It seems to me that the market must be reading into the larger initial jobless claims as extremely negative because there has been concern that we're going to see another wave of joblessness, and that kind of supports that view. So that might be why that number is being more influential. Interestingly enough, they flipped the book in the 30-year and the 5-year, but not the 10-year. And the ECB press conference is going as well. That
Uzi
could
Knesset
be a
says things are
driver
gonna
of
get
the
hairy at the end of
treasuries.
the month.
Oh, I bet. Unless Congress steps it up, man. Because if those jobless benefits expire, it's going to be a freaking disaster. Hmm.
Uzi Knesset says yeah, major oops all around if they don't solidify the welfare state.
So I think that the retail sales number in particular I find really bullish because the Chinese data was negative, and so there was some I have concern in my mind about if we will see consumer sentiment drop as well as all these other things, and um the retail sales was really good, so people actually are spending the money.
Air Cages says guys Elon Musk just doubled my Bitcoin.
Oh gosh, Air Cages, don't. He's joking, guys. He's joking. It's a joke. Don't send Elon Musk the address tweeted by Elon Musk. Don't send that Bitcoin. That's not pulling. See, that's not pulling. I bet you that does. I bet you that almost all that pulls.
Uzi Knesset says that was so crazy to watch lol.
Air Cages says still waiting for Obama to come through though.
Oh, well, do you think that the hackers was maybe a Trump supporter because Trump didn't get hacked? Because my understanding now is that it was a social engineering attack against the mods. So why didn't Trump get hacked? They would have been able to hack anybody that they wanted. But these guys are going to get caught. They're going to get caught because they were posting pictures of the internal Twitter administrator tools. So they've left a trail. I bet you that they're going to get caught.
Air Cages says I was waiting for that Trump tweet. Never came.
Never came. Damn it. Okay. So I think that the E-mini is reacting to the ECB press conference. IG Squawk, that's somebody that I've never heard of.
Uzi Knesset says I'd be doubtful the average Trump supporter would have fell for that. They don't have the tendency to blindly trust everything lol. They would have seen the celebrities doing it and been like nope haha.
Air Cages says they only got like 12 BTC too, which is chump change. I don't think this hack had a real financial motive.
You might be right. But, I mean, it's still a decent amount of money. I don't know. It would be enough to make it worth it. It's more than most people make in a year. So I think that the E-mini seems to believe that the ECB is
Air
talking
Cages says they could
hawkish.
have gotten way more money if they were a little bit more creative.
Hmm. Maybe they don't really want it. Well, I was unsure if I ate enough for breakfast today, so I got a muffin, and I'm feeling like I need more food, so I'm gonna eat the muffin.
Air Cages says was this the biggest social media heist in history so far? Winston's mom says good morning speculator Seth and everyone upside down face. Air Cages says even Biden got caught lol.
Did you see the Babylon Bee story? And they said social media attack suspected after Joe Biden posts coherent sentences on Twitter. I thought it was so funny.
Air Cages says, do you think Trump's account might have extra security measures in place since he was hacked before?
So the question I have is, they say that Twitter has admitted that they were the target of a social engineering hack. How did getting access to the Twitter admins give them access to other people's accounts? That's what I want to know. New poll found the majority of Southerners now view the Confederate flag as a symbol of racism. Well, I think we can stick a fork in that one.
Air Cages says that's crazy. Imagine if Twitter employees have access to all accounts, DMs, etc. Is that even legal, lol?
Right. But if they had access to everybody's accounts, then surely they would have done the president, right? Unless they were favorable to the president. Was there a single conservative? Was there a single conservative that was hacked? I don't think there was. I think the hack might have been political in nature.
Uzi Knesset says, imagine that Twitter employees can post on behalf of world leaders and politicians.
What is IG? Is it IGUS? Ah, they are a Forex broker. Oh, this is funny.
Air Cages says the guy who did it is from crypto Twitter. That much is obvious.
Man, it's so Financial Juice will sound off a siren when there are significant alerts that come through, but the breaking was ECB interest rate actual 0.00%. Forecast 0.00. I'm like, yeah, okay. Thank you. We know. No, okay, so look at this. So here is retail sales over a year from a year ago. Okay. What is doing the best? Well, worst, electronics and appliance stores. Furniture is doing poorly. By the way, I don't know what the deal is, but in my local area yesterday, a ton of furniture was put online. And my wife has been like trolling it, and we got like this great stuff for like $50. She's gonna try and refinish. We'll see if she does it. But maybe something's going there, and maybe it has to do at the end of the month. Was a thought there. Anyways, okay, so building material, garden, and supplies dealers up 17.3%. Food and beverage stores are actually doing good. Okay. So, and sporting goods. So, actually that's down. It's 20 versus 26 from before. So not significantly harmed in non-store retailers. So basically, what does it tell us? People were stuck at home and they decided to work on their yards and hobbies. That's funny. That's interesting. Okay, what do you think about this bid at 14.5? I think that they're going to hit him and he's going to pull. What do you think? Hmm. Should put my sim order where my mouth is. We ask Zero Hedge is still on the Twitter thing. We ask everyone to please send us Bitcoin until we hit our 2% inflation target. Oh, it's pulling. Okay. Some people look better with masks on, just saying. Gosh. Okay, E-mini seems to be recovering this pretty okay so far. Now I get my 5-minute one on. Okay, that's interesting. So the next thing that we need to do is we need to figure out how much inventory is actually there and how much profit these guys have booked. Because I should be able to say if price is below their cost average, and I can look at where they match and I could determine how much money had been made. Best case scenario, how much money had been made. Got a lot of work to do on this thing. I'm starting to think that I need another monitor.
Uzi Knesset says curious why the cost basis for sellers would be below the price. Uzi Knesset
In
says
the
basis
10-year?
Tarankan.
In the 10-year? Well, it's always going to be below where it is for the buyers, I think. So looking over here to the right, because here's where the day resets. There was a sell here and they absorbed it, and that's
Uzi
keeping
Knesset says
their
I'm watching it
overall
in ZB. Both the
basis
cost
low.
basis for buyers and sellers are beneath price.
Yeah. So the basis for sellers is basically the sellers are losing money here. Have been losing money here. But it's largely as low as it is because they took a lot of orders down on this thing right here. But you can kind of see do you see how it's kind of diverging? Like the spread is getting bigger. Curious. Look at the book. Well, I think that our you know what? I'm going to change this. Change the color here. Let's make it like a really dark color. Like control gray, maybe. Yeah. That's some reason the coloring on the super smoother doesn't reset on when you reset the thing. Okay, so now we should be able to see if it's flipping here. Zero Hedge tweets Moderna pledges to conduct phase 4, phase 5, and phase 6 trials if it helps push ES
Uzi
higher.
Knesset says ZB just pulled its head above the highest distance away from the VWAP of the overnight session. Could get that pullback.
Yeah, I think so. So interestingly, and so I want the test that I wanted to do was how close does the inventory thing match the VWAP? And the answer is not very well. So there you have it.
I2Yanth Great says did you hear about the Twitter hack? I heard that it's hackers exploiting pre-existing NSA backdoor into Twitter.
What? Okay, that's one I haven't heard, but I should have expected. I'm changing all these things about my charts, and it makes me feel weird. And hopefully... I think we're okay.
Uzi Knesset says geez, ZH with the doom and gloom, the lower reaches of the financial food chain are already dying, and every entity that depended on that layer is doomed.
Okay, so they just continue to put a stack there at 14.5. I'm not convinced that that is like that they want to continue to push this up. I think that that is more like that the market maker wants more. Well, he didn't pull when we ticked down, but nobody's hitting him either, so. The marketeer says Twitter pundits all posting they pointed out the NASDAQ top was a few sessions ago. Nope, I had no clue if that was the top or not, and I have no clue if we're gonna go down or up. I'm a little skeptical about. I'm still in on my Tesla short. Oh, we should open that up. Why not? How lucky pulled. Oh, they hit him. They hit him. All right. So that actually lowers the cost basis for the buyers. I think if I'm going to continue looking at stocks, that I need to pick a better platform. Maybe I should look into if my Fidelity account will let me use the active trader thing. I tell you what, that first trade in the 10-year, thinking back on it, was really frustrating because it was looking good. I was like, here's the setup. I think I know where it's going to go. And then I was like up 4 ticks, like at a, just like that. I was like, shoot, that's no good. Oh man, Twitter is definitely down. So yesterday they were at 35.5, and overnight they touched 33.5. Ugly. And Tesla is lower as well. In fact, we may see Tesla open lower than yesterday's low. Ooh. Can you imagine? Okay, well, the E-mini took a little bit of a turn there. Michael Brown says, to be honest, we should have Lane doing the pressers rather than listening to this diatribe before Lane and Schnabel come out and clear it all up with a blog post or two tomorrow. So this is interesting. The first time that I listened to her, to Lagarde speak, I thought she was really good at it. And I was like, okay, there's an, you want somebody that's good with the media. And, but now you look at the sentiment from, Twitter and so forth, they don't like her. Well, looks like that the E-mini just is sad today, I guess. Russia trying to steal coronavirus vaccine research, UK says. Okay, the E-mini recovered that very, very quickly. And in fact, it looks like I have never reset my DOM, so now they're pushing new highs on the day. Or since I've come in. New highs since the news. We're higher than the news now, finally. Which is what I thought it should have been in the first place. See what he's doing, right? He's like, nope, can't let Seth win. The World Health Organization tweeting how to wear a non-medical
Uzi Knesset says lol.
fabric mask safely. What? Don'ts. Don't use a shoe. No, wait, what the heck? That's a weird picture. Do not use a mask that looks damaged, guys. This crap. This is what they make. Okay. Do not wear a loose mask. Don't wear the mask under the nose. You've seen these guys, haven't you? You've seen these guys. I think what they're thinking is if I breathe in through my nose and out through my... No, you need to cover them both, apparently. Do not remove the mask where there are more people within a meter. So apparently the person that wrote this...
Uzi Knesset says I keep forgetting when I say, you may get that pullback. There's a difference in magnitude between ZB and ZB. Oopsie.
Right. Well... I think I've got it. I think I'm okay.
Uzi Knesset says, but hey, you're getting it.
I'm still happy with it, right? I mean, here's the thing is I think yesterday, well, maybe yesterday might have been due to some of the bugs that we had in it and some misunderstandings on our part. But sometimes it is just going to trend against you, right? So a big part of this is going to have to be knowing when that is, which I think we've actually been pretty good at calling lately. Now, another thing that I need to do is I probably should be looking for the VIX and the treasuries. For now, I'm
Uzi
going
Knesset
to
says, yeah,
rely
can't win
on
100% of the time.
Yeah, I can't win 100% of the time. Yeah, exactly. And one of the things that I don't know if I went through it, but the guy that we learned this information from on Futures IO, I got him to do a call with me yesterday, and he told me a bunch of things, and I understood a lot of the things that he was sharing a lot better. But the thing that was the most interesting was that he was saying, every time that you get a match, that's actually profit. So you can calculate how much money they've made. So super, super exciting to me. Well, the E-mini's just taken off. I'm surprised that the treasuries aren't dropping harder. Do not use a dirty or wet mask, and don't share it with
Uzi
others.
Knesset says, holy shit, good luck coding all that lol.
No, it's not. That's the thing. I don't think it will be that hard. You just have to know. We'll have to add a thing in there for what is the value of a tick. Oh, maybe NinjaTrader already has that in there. You just have to know the value of a tick, and then every time that there's a match, that's profit. Number of ticks and times the value per tick times the number of contracts matched equals the profit they made. It's an estimate, of course. This really is what it is when you think about it. It's like the best case scenario. It's like if there was one guy that only ever went long, and there was another guy that only ever went short. What is the theoretical maximum amount of money that they could be making or losing?
Uzi Knesset says, yeah, but wouldn't you have to run code that search for matches? Sounds intense lol.
That's how I'm determining the cost basis already. Is you take out all of the matches and then you take the volume weighted moving average of what's left. So we're already doing that part. Now, the intense thing is going to be making a rolling window because right now it's showing us for the whole session. And you could kind of tell how when we got it later into the day that it wasn't as effective. So what we need to do is we need to make it like a moving average over the past hour, which means that I'm going to have to store a volume profile for every bar. And then when you do the calculation, you're going to have to combine the last X profiles, which is a bit of a pain, but I think we can do it. I think it'll be fine. I kind of got going on it yesterday, but I wanted to do my min thing first. Curious. So I want to point out too that when we were up there at the high, like 15 half 16, there was a lot of activity from the big orders, and then they pulled and we came down a tick.
Uzi Knesset says the whole thing is a very cool concept. I hadn't even looked at the code. I just beelined it into seeing if we can make use of it tongue out.
It's let me put it this way. Uh, I shouldn't say this, but it's I don't think we can give it to everybody. We'll see, but it's so well. So here's one of the things is that this guy, what do we call him, hyper scalper? He's writing it in ATAS. So it sounds like he's having a couple of weird issues with that platform. Because he has to rebuild it from the orders every time. Whereas we're taking a lot of the hard work out by putting it into a dictionary first. But I think that they're making it, and I don't know if he's planning on selling it or what. But I don't think that we're gonna go and post it on Futures.io.
Uzi Knesset says, well, he gave you concept, not code. I mean, you build it and sell it. You're not really doing anything unethical, lol.
Yeah, no, that's true. If I do it, if I put it out there, it'll be a part of the order flow suite tools. I want to make some changes to the order flow suite tools too, because what I have right now is like, what is the maximum, like the highest that this number gets during that time period? So if you have an order that he's like moving between here and here, you know, that shouldn't really actually be counted. So really what I think I want to do is what was the minimum of every price and then add all of those together. So to do that, I need to add another layer of complexity into my order flow suite.
Uzi Knesset says, I know one person who's a professional programmer. He's always looking for self-employment opportunities. I always tell him to code trading indicators and sell them.
Well, I don't know if, I mean, I've never tried selling it, so.
Uzi Knesset says, funnily enough, he keeps telling me to do that. It's like, bro, I wanna trade, not code. You're the coder. Go make some damn money, lol.
Yeah, I mean, that's my feeling on it. Is the concern that I have is that once I start selling a product, I have to support the product, and I don't want to do that. I want to trade. I suppose if I was making enough money from it that I didn't have to work, I could make that coding that my second job, then they would be different. But
Uzi Knesset says, lol.
my primary concern is and always has been getting good at trading. So I don't know. The thing that's fun about it is that there is some complexity involved in it. And I'm trying to figure out if there's a way to sequentially do it, because I did make it so that you can determine the cost base on a tick by tick basis. So that was a bit of work, but that was one of the main differences with the second version. So quote, they made a lot of money. UBS billionaire clients dump stocks as top could be nearing, says Zero Hedge. I kind of wonder. We talked about this yesterday, but you look at the bank earnings, and all of those banks made a lot of money trading. They also set aside a lot of money for like defaults in the future. So I'm wondering, the Federal Reserve came in and they said, okay, banks, we're going to buy all the things. And the bank said, we don't care because they're going to shut down the economy and we need stimulus and this and that. So they sold it. So all of these guys might have gone long.
Uzi Knesset says, well, I can't trade these cost basis levels in ZB if she doesn't come back down lol. My brain also won't let me buy 4 ticks from the high haha.
Oh yeah, well, the thing that's going to be difficult with this is that apparently they'll take on a lot of risk, these guys. So you've really got to see something that it's turning around. So we've still got to watch our short term, how they're trading to see if they turn back around. Anyways, so I'm thinking a bunch of guys they bought and got slaughtered
Uzi
on the
Knesset
way down.
says, oh
right?
yeah, they have more money than God lol.
Yeah. And then the Federal Reserve said, okay, we're going to do more. And so part of this was that the Federal Reserve needed to push us up to a level that they could recoup all of those losses from the way down. And you can kind of see who didn't, right? Because Bank of America's earnings were not good. Also, I want to point out on the numbers for the jobless claims. Let me pull it up here. Unemployment claims. It was 1,300. 1,300,000. And it's been decreasing. Like last time. That doesn't do a very good job of. Oh, there it is. So last time it was 1,400.
Sunday Driver says I woke up alive. Thankful that a meteor didn't destroy the Earth.
Anyways. Oh, what was this guy saying, man? Where did it go? They were just pointing out that the change in the jobless claims was concerning. All of these. So when I look at the Twitter conversation about the ECB press conference, it seems like the key problem that they have with Lagarde is that she just doesn't actually understand the monetary policy. That she is like a figurehead and that she's not actually in charge.
Uzi Knesset says she got a bala tan though.
She looks good.
Uzi Knesset says bronze goddess.
What do we got going on here? Okay, well, E-mini down on a little turn there. It actually caused a little gap on my 1 minute chart. I don't think I've ever seen a gap on a 1 minute chart before. It's just luck of the draw for that to happen, though, of course. Dude, I really like this now with the super smoother on top of it and the actual thing in the back, a darker color. Yeah, it's nice. I still think that they're gonna push up in the E-mini. Need to stand up for a second. I think I'm getting too relaxed here. Yeah, Carl Quintina, I don't get why Twitter acquired Vine, the proto TikTok, and just killed it. Yep. I have to say, I'm pretty convinced at this point Twitter is not a well-run company, and they need to get rid of Jack Dorsey. Hmm. Well, I'm not too fond of the 15.5 going like that. Got 10 minutes to the E-mini open. Usually the ECB press conferences finish off of that, or they try and finish around that time. We do have some bill auctions still today, and Fed Williams, business inventories, NAHB housing market index. Housing market index is usually not a big deal. Business inventory is also pretty uh, low tier indicator, although in this case, I think that people
RJ
will
Wheels
look at
says
it.
Sunday Driver. Check out the Greenland movie trailer. Comet hits Earth.
Have you guys gone out and looked at the comet? It's not very bright, but I saw it. I bought on the bid 2000. But the book is still offer, apparently. The problem with saying that the book is still offer is they
Uzi Knesset says
means
yo,
they
in
want
that
people
trailer,
to
literally where I live is the first impact, haha. Uzi
right.
Knesset says sad panda, haha.
Okay, well, the 10-year.
RJ
Kinda
Wheel
doing
says the
something
trailer
here.
is pretty much the whole movie.
Oh, really? Don't you hate that?
Uzi Knesset says it's weird seeing Central Florida as the first place to go as opposed to NYC or LA in a disaster movie LMAO.
Right, right. Because it's always New York. I tell you what, when you're looking at media, there's one thing that'll help you understand media better. It's realize they all live in New York. There's good example. This whole Andrew Cuomo thing. They're all watching the press conference praising Cuomo. He made the worst decision out of anybody in the United States on the coronavirus thing, right?
RJ Wheel says payback by left-wing Hollywood for voting Trump in 16.
He is literally
Uzi Knesset
responsible
says
for
haha.
tens of thousands of people dying from their decision to put people that were in the hospital for coronavirus back into the nursing homes. Such a dumb decision. It's 100% his. It's 100% on him.
Sunday
And the
Driver
media
says
praises
Cuomo
him.
basically committed biological warfare against the elderly.
Yeah. And why is it that they all point out Cuomo? Because they all live in New York and he's their governor. So that's the guy that they're paying attention to. When you start looking at it from that perspective, a lot of things make sense.
RJ Wheel says yeah, and MSNBC still talks about him as if he's Winston Churchill of COVID.
Yeah, right. It's the same thing with a lot of different things, like especially like gun control and racism, right? Like the national perspective on racism up until this Black Lives Matter
Uzi
thing.
Knesset says Cuomo was smart. He let COVID plow through pensioners, cutting the budget while letting the virus kill off available hosts. Lol.
Jeez, Uzi. But before the whole Black Lives Matter thing, almost national discussion on race had to do with a couple of cases from New York, like that case where the black guy got shot like 100 times by the cops and he was just sitting on his porch, right? That is where and it absolutely affected the way that Black
RJ
Lives
Wheel
Matter
says COVID
turned
has
out.
replaced tobacco. It had that job.
Replaced tobacco? Hmm. Well, I kind of wonder if the
Dorado
coronavirus
Dorm says
cases really do
GAXY,
decrease
remote
here.
learning software for online classes exploding penny stock is gapping up carrot pre-market.
Penny stocks, Dorado, not to be insulting to you, but why don't you come and play big boy games on the futures? Nobody wants to trade those
Uzi Knesset
scam
says at
penny
RJ Wheel not
stocks.
for me smoke cigarette.
So do you think that this is a channel where the readers of the channel are going to come in and FOMO in on some stock that you already bought? I'm sorry, buddy, but if that's what you're out and doing, you are on the wrong stream. I don't give a fuck what stock is pumping up. I don't trade them. I don't day trade stocks, and I don't buy into something because it's moving. I buy into something because there's a fundamental reason to get into it, and because I understand the thing. I'm not going to go in and jump on some penny stock I've never heard of before.
Uzi Knesset says oh shit penny stock I've never heard of. Let me go plow 10
Yeah.
grand into it.
I'm gonna make fun of you.
Sunday
because-
Driver says blue cities and blue states are terrible at managing things. Somehow, their poor management is blamed on red state people. How did that happen?
Oh, well, I think the problem is that they're trying to manage too much. You know, I mean, part of it is that it's kind of it's funny because they have more people. So just by having more people, that already makes it harder to manage. But then their strategy for managing that
Uzi
is to
Knesset
try
says
and
take the
manage
pump and
more.
dump bullshit back to Reddit. Lol.
Yeah, take your pump and dump. Go posted that on Wall Street Bets. I bet you they'll love that shit. UK accused Russia-based hackers trying to. We already read that story. Let's look here. We're now 2 minutes before. Where's our VIX? VIX is actually a little bit higher than it was overnight, but still not anywhere close to that 30 that we were at yesterday.
Sunday driver says Seth bringing the fire. Fire, fire, fire.
I mean, I try to be nice, but my whole thing is, I don't know. It's just like my whole perspective has changed. I don't know. Maybe this is a bad thing, but when I have like this different perspective on it in terms of like where can you derive edge from, all of the sudden to me it's really clear. What's like, okay, this thing is bad. This thing is good. And I'm willing to come out and call things out way more confidently than I was before. Because before it was like, wow, I can't say if this indicator thing that this guy is pointing out is useful or not because I haven't back tested it and you have to do all the research. But now I'm like, well, it's technical analysis. It probably doesn't work, right? There's a lot of people talking about this. UK and allies expose Russian attacks on coronavirus vaccine development.
RJ Wheel says sorry, what did I miss? Was on phone with broker about GAXY.
Okay, here they go.
Uzi Knesset says it's because people like us spend more time learning about market making concepts and shit than we do on let me turn $50 into a Lambo. That's why the dumb shit don't work on us.
Yeah. Well, I think it's more to the channel is overall is that we attract people that have been at it for a long time. So I can't necessarily say that like my audience is more successful traders than other people just because I don't have the data to know that. There certainly are a lot of you guys that you've shown me results and are very successful. But I don't know what percentage of the viewership that is or anything, right? But I can tell you that the people that
Sunday
come
driver
around
says I sold all my physical gold and silver to buy GAXY.
Some of you guys have been watching, coming in here with me every day for over 2 years now, right? And that's much further than the average retail trader lasts, right? And so I think it's because of that. I think that we've always stated this is hard and you have to work really hard to do it and you have to search deep and most people aren't going to make it that far and so because we've taken that attitude, you get more seasoned people that understand things like that. Just FOMOing into a trade because you see everybody else doing it is like the worst way to trade. Not only that, but you've sat and watched me FOMO into something up at the tops and the
Uzi Knesset
treasuries
says
a
that Sunday
trillion
driver open
times.
mouth smile.
I haven't done that in a long time, but how many times have I gone in and tried buying thinking that there were level breaking in the treasury and it not working out? Ugh. So many times. Okay, so there was a little bit of a down impulse. They recovered it. The up impulse doesn't look like as much volume, but it's fine. It's fine. I think it's fine. The ECB is done. There's the sellers. Again, good amount of volume on it. I'm going to break. I'm going to push my treasuries up to another high. I don't know. So another thing is that we got to point out is this is kind of the same thing that we had yesterday, right? Where the treasuries seem unusually agitated by the downside action in the E-mini. Like that right there in the E-mini is just opening range testing. Why are you gonna try and break new highs off of that? I guess maybe that's what the market maker wants, huh? Rand Squawk tweets, it was tough, but we got through it, gang. This is why bonuses are so essential in the finance industry. In response to LaGuard finishes press conference. They really didn't like that press conference. Well, I'm glad I didn't watch it. I'm finding that it's easier to listen to the Squawk instead of trying to listen to her because she talks too much. I'll listen to Powell, but not the ECB. It's not. They don't provide enough color usually. Well, I continue to see that when you get a big tick up and they try and sell back into it in the treasury, that it holds. Well, not that it holds, but that a lot of volume trades. Okay, so there's the E-mini testing the low after the 8:30 news. Not making it on the first test of it. And about 2,000 contracts selling so far. Okay. Oof. Okay, so took them a couple of tries, but they did go through, and they got a couple of stops off of that. What do we see here in the E-mini? I see that buyers taking it there, actually. No huge absorption, but Playbook this morning what Parscale's ouster means and what it doesn't. So this one is an interesting one. They were really arguing this over on the Donald Trump forum. Says, so what were they ousting Parscale from Donald Trump's campaign because they changed the campaign manager? I'm not so sure. They put him back in the job that he was doing before. It's not like they dislike him or anything. Interesting to watch people's reactions to it. Okay, so Jake Sherman's going to tweet here about it. It's meaningful because Parscale was like the back of a shoe that keeps rubbing your ankle the wrong way. It just needs to be changed. He had been part of this single winning race, Trump's 2016 presidential bid. Bill Stepien, the new campaign manager, is a seasoned hand. Why is it meaningless? Because Parscale isn't really the problem. Trump doesn't listen to political advisors. He's still acting like he's in the lead. People around him tell him that polls will turn around once they define Joe Biden, who has been in public life for 5 decades. Have thoughts on that. And he refuses to accept the reality that his campaign will not be
Sunday
waged like the
Driver
last
says,
one.
Seth, you are going to be disappointed. I picked a cheap microphone to start with, the Neewer NW800. I couldn't find one I really wanted, so decided to get a good cheap one to start with.
I really don't think that you can go wrong with this one Sunday, unless you really want to, unless you were going to get like a Neumann. It's a $30 microphone. Hey, it's cool. It's gold though. That's not bad. I really don't think that looks too bad. I mean, sound quality, it's not going to be a big deal. So.
Sunday
Okay,
Driver says
so
all the ones I wanted were sold out.
they recovered that so fast in the E-mini. Like they were going down, and you see the treasuries was like pushing into 16. A couple of people got pushed into 16, and now they're back to the open. And now are the buyers going to have their turn yet?
Sunday Driver says the reviews are quite
Maybe.
good. It's 24-bit. Once I get the one I want, I'll make this a good spare.
Oh, yeah, that's cool. Yeah. Well, it's interesting how the the market for that kind of stuff is gone, isn't it? I honestly, I probably should have tried picking up some more contracts up there. Like I could have picked some contracts up at 15.5. Okay, well, they got above the open. We do need to see them break a new regular session high to really feel any kind of. Okay, so now something's happening here. You're getting some contracts going through at 31.98. I am seeing some things that suggest that they're moving up. So the maximum and the minimum track each other pretty good. I'm going to keep those two indicators. I'm going to make a new one that I think is going to be even more interesting than that. And if my theories are correct, it will still show us the same thing, but then we'll know for sure on the level 2. I'll be able to conclusively tell people about, how predictive it really is. Okay, so there's the new high. I'm liking it. I'm going to get back to the 13.5 where those bigger orders were earlier that we had trouble with, right? Okay. So that was a good move in the E-mini, but they didn't just completely give it up, right? In fact, the sellers pushed back down really quickly there. Chinese officials and scholars have stated on many occasions that as the second largest economy in the world, but China has no intention of conducting a Cold War with the United States. A Cold War with the U.S. will do no good to China's development, nor cater to global interests. This is being retweeted by Li Shanxiao. It is to stop China's fast-growing economy and technological advances that the U.S. is launching a new Cold War. The U.S. aggression towards China is against the interests of all humanity. Bullshit. China's interest is to dominate. Why would they do that? Why would you go and commit literal genocide? Why would you go and say that you own this whole sea? It's because they want global supremacy, guys. And they want to gather power and use it against you. You can see it with the coronavirus. They did okay with the coronavirus because they shut down. And now they're turning around and they're like, oh, hey, yeah, we'll, if you're nice to us, we'll give you medical supplies and everything. They're trying to expand their influence. This is nothing about, we're just trying to create a good global trade and be good global. It's bullcrap. Bullcrap. I'm real breakout to almost overnight low. 2 legs up 32.06 if you can't bounce off today's open. Well,
Uzi Knesset says, oh come on, we really don't know how well or bad China did with COVID lol. China didn't shut down 1.7 billion people lol.
yeah. Well, it's just when you look at the economic numbers, they seem to be ahead of the game. Let's put it that way. Their growth has um, improved faster than everybody else's. Of course, they were hit first as well, so that's going to be a major factor to that.
Uzi Knesset says, or they could be lying like crazy lol.
Yeah, for sure. I think some limits to how much they can lie about their economic numbers, though, right? But there's other things that we can see, like they put a lot of money into their banking system, so it's not like everything's hunky dory over there. I think it's just less bad than here at the moment. We'll probably see things very differently in a month. I just a lot of something that drives me crazy about the coronavirus thing is that everybody wants to try and front run. It's like I was having an argument with the supporters of what is his name, the Dilbert guy, and Scott Adams, yeah, and he was complaining that CNN focused on new cases. And I was like, well, they should focus on new cases because it's a leading indicator. It's the best indicator that you have. If you're trying to make predictions about what's going to, in terms of like your finances and everything like that. That's the most advanced information that you have. So but then there's this thing where everybody wants to kind of get in front of it. So everybody's trying to call already, oh, opening schools up will be a disaster. So many people are going to die. And it's like, like wait a month. Let's wait a month and see what the situation looks like in a month. You're probably going to see things very differently a month from now. But I don't know. You're in your home. You don't have anything better to think about, I guess. The school teachers, I know a couple of school teachers who they seem, what is the word, panicked, I guess. Like I get these mid 30-year-old healthy school teachers. Oh, I'm gonna die. Are they gonna pay my insurance? No, you're not gonna die. You're not gonna die, dude. Sorry. Okay. So what's going on here? In the volumes. I'm starting to get the impression that the sellers had made a lot of money overnight, and so they're strong. I don't know if the facts are really on their side this morning, though. Wow. Hmm. One of the problems that I have is that you can have negative sentiment not based off of any kind of change in economic numbers, but just because we're overvalued. So, okay, notice a little change there. It's still a lot willing to buy it at 14.5, considering that they already sold 800. I guess the sellers will take them up on it. No, I'm sure this could change really fast, but for now, the buyers in the 10-year don't seem to be giving in. Well,
Uzi Knesset
there's
says
one.
interesting. In
Ooh.
ZB, seller cost basis is flattening, meaning lack of buyers A greater than.
Okay, now that's interesting. I didn't put it on my. I do see though the seller cost basis is flattening. The buyer cost basis is increasing, but the seller is flattening. Which means that sellers aren't selling at a higher or lower price. It's interesting because the spread kind of widened there, didn't it?
Uzi Knesset says I have it on a 1 meter chart. I mean, just using logic here. Seller cost basis has flattened, which means less aggressive buyers.
Yes. Yes. No, I think you're right. I think we're saying the same thing.
Sunday Driver says Seth, what is the best audio interface for
The
XLR
best?
microphones?
I don't know about the best. The most common is the Scarletts. The easiest thing to get your hands on is any kind of Scarlett audio interface. If you're going to stream, you want to go XLR. Yep. There's the Go XLR and there's the Go XLR Mini, and that is the best audio interface for
Uzi Knesset
streaming.
says, oh yeah, not arguing or anything. I'm just relaying my observations and interpretations. Throw and poop at the wall, see what sticks, lol.
Yeah, I getcha. Then is the thing is that the buyers, well, the buyers were increasing their cost basis essentially. They were trying to buy it up. Now that they've taken 14 half and the 14 is going a little bit too easily, right? I'll be concerned that 13 half and 13 could also go, especially now that the E-mini is taken off. So if they pick it
Uzi
over
Knesset says, don't
this
criticize my artistic process, say it lol, tongue out.
320350. 320350 was that where we got stuck before. And then I would think that we should go through the spread, right? At that point we should go through the spread, which is now at 13, by the way. Yeah. 554 to trade 13 half. Okay, Uzi. This is the one, isn't it? Because we're always like, oh man, there wasn't any volume at this price, so why did it drop so easily? And here, we pretty much called where it was going to happen at. It happens because that's you're in the middle of the spread. So interesting. So interesting. How far down do you think we can get here? Well, 12, 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So 13.
Uzi Knesset says very.
Let's try that.
Uzi Knesset says, look, see. Uzi Knesset says bidders in ZB defending buyers cost basis at 180 evens.
With that 400 bid or whatever. And there's an iceberg going on there.
Uzi Knesset says let's see if they hold.
Right. But is that fighting, or is that the people bailing like you were talking about? Because that could be this, like, especially those orders at 03. That could be sellers deciding, or sorry, that could be buyers saying, I want out. No, that at 635 can't really be that, can it? Well, it would have to be, they would have to be market selling out.
Uzi Knesset says it could be either. Realistically, we can't know, unfortunately.
Right. And there's going to be spreading too. I don't see like matching volume in the other treasuries to say that there's something going on in the spreads. We should come back over here and check though. When we look at our profile, at our charts, the 2s and 10s is flattening a little bit. The knob spread, well, overall they've been flattening, but it looks like in this past bar they've been steepening a little bit. So the ZB did fall a little bit more. Okay.
Uzi Knesset says that seller cost basis line is still flat for like 7 to 8 minutes.
Yeah. So we got some news in 5 minutes. Let's come over and check our VIX. VIX in our stocks and see what we got going on here. Okay, so upside in the E-mini is 32.25. So we're still really kind of in the middle and undecided. Downside is 31.70.
Uzi Knesset says when the aggressive buyers start hitting, that line should get wonky.
Well, I think that the 32.20 is more likely, but both of them actually look pretty like okay targets. So I think the VIX targets looks kind of in line. And let's come over here and look at some of the stocks and stuff. Okay, Twitter is recovering nicely from the worsts of the overnight session, as is Tesla. Goldman Sachs is close to where it was when it released the news. I'm going to need to develop a better watch list for stocks. A doctor in Hidalgo County, Texas, on the surge of coronavirus cases. The only way you get a bed in the unit is if somebody dies. Okay, so want to point out also, they did beat that last high, but that is definitely a defense zone. So what we saw there, do you see the absorption and everything like that? And it got pushed back down. I think you have to read that as sellers defending. That was the seller's break-even point, and they defended it. Now you're the same thing in well, yeah, you're getting the same thing. Oh, it's not the sellers. Why would the? Well, that's interesting. So that's the point at which sellers would be making money, and they got out. They might have been scratching. That might have been scratching. That's different from what we're seeing in the treasuries, isn't it? Because that's
Uzi Knesset says common right of 180 in ZB.
Yeah, there's a lot of volume trading in that area, huh? But I mean, this one looks like that the market makers want to engage in that area. Well, same in the E-mini, no? I don't know if that tells us anything. I think this is one where you can get a pullback and then you can get another freak trend up move out of nowhere in the E-mini. I don't know. We still got a news at the top of the hour and then 15 minutes to the counter trend period. Okay, so we're looking for business inventories now.
Uzi
Estimate
Knesset says
negative
the
two
news may
spot three.
change the picture.
Yeah, negative 2.3 is the number, the estimate, with the previous of negative 1.3. So let's see here. If it's more negative than expected, that would mean that people are buying things more than we thought, right? So a negative number is that can actually be good. Huawei can be seen as the father of 5G. Its European competitors lag far behind. They can only bring 4.5G. UK can only completely remove Huawei by 2027, which indicates it's difficult to leave Huawei, but there could be change before and after that. Okay, it's in line with expectations. Housing market index 72, higher than the expected 60. E-mini looks happy, so far at least. So some positive sentiment, but we're still middling around the opening price. And those orders at 13 look like they want fill. Well, they're traded a lot up at the top. They traded a lot around the 31.99 level, and now they're trading a lot at the 31.95 level in the E-mini. And Treasury ticked up there. Not surprised. So the sellers did take some. That actually lowered the seller cost basis a little bit. U.S. mortgage rate slipped to record low 2.98 for 30-year loans. Really, I got 2.875, I think. Huh? Well, I can see why they're taking 14. Pretty whippy in the E-mini so far. Salt Lake Tribune. Walmart will now require customers to wear face coverings at all its stores. Welcome to yesterday. That newspaper, I tell you what, here in Utah, it's a terrible news. It's not a very good newspaper. Okay, so some negative. There's sellers are trying. It's getting slow down there, though. That's a lot of volume just trading everywhere, to be honest. I have to come over to this footprint. 12,000 at 31.96. Well, a new low certainly wouldn't be a good thing for our position. It's like they saving it for now. We're gonna have to see them get like
Uzi Knesset says, "Oh bro, I did it."
Breathe easy. You did it. Did you take it as ZB? You reversed it?
Uzi Knesset says, "I took a live trade off your indicator."
I gotcha. So it's going to be, the thing that's going to be interesting is when do they bounce off of them and when do they go through them, right? Right now, though, the equities, well, it's slow, but they do look sad.
Uzi Knesset says, "Only one contract, only 3 ticks, but hey."
Right. Well, did you get it at 180? Did you already?
Uzi Knesset says, "I played it within the SDS of the candle."
Did you already take the profit? Because I would have thought that you would be going for like 180.1 to 180.04.
Uzi Knesset says, "180, 0.3, I was slow on."
Oh, okay. That's still doable, right? Close to a fill, in fact.
Uzi Knesset says, "Yeah, I took it at 0.6, hey, trying something new, so playing it mad safe."
Oh, you did get it. Good. Okay, interesting. The way that, so I'm getting the clicking in the minis with somebody messing around with the bid, or sorry, with an offer. They're doing the funky stuff. Weaker oil demand gains led by sharp slowing in U.S. I'm being dyslexic.
Uzi Knesset
today.
says,
What
"I
is
should have
with
took
that?
it at 180, but yeah, no tongue out."
Yeah, well, where I was looking for it to come, I was looking for it to go through. So I think I was wrong on that one. Could still do. I think you're going to trade on both sides of the spread at some point. I don't know. The E-mini looks negative and everything, but this is not your standard, like, everything falls apart action as so far. It's really quite a bit of a battle still. What's this?
Uzi Knesset says the seller basis is still flat. The indie didn't take a shit, did it, lol?
No, you're right. They're both flat. I think when they're taking trades around the spread area, that it's not going to change their basis very much. Now, the interesting thing is that the buyers tried to take it through, right? So we could have had a quick move up from 3204 up to 3216, but then things quickly fell back down. Now, they could pop back up and try it again for sure. Overall, though, the E-mini still kind of seems indecisive to me. Okay. Well, that's good. Pivot, at least.
Uzi Knesset says, bro, I was mad conservative playing that, and it hit Shunya Saath. I don't know about you, but that's pretty decent to me.
No, I think it was a great trade. I'm just sitting and thinking about it like, okay, so does that mean that my trade is wrong, or can I still end up getting this correctly? So I guess we'll see. So now look at the 14. 14 and the 13 halves, they stacked up again when we moved up. And once again, at the open, a little bit of a hesitancy. As a reset.
Uzi Knesset says, I mean, being wrong or right is kinda up in the air. It's how much right or wrong we gotta deal with, lol.
Right. Well, the thing that I'm thinking about is I think that you just want to catch this middle zone, right? Like that middle zone should be the area where we should have the best opportunity to pull a small little winner, right? That's where they're going to need the help. Okay. Like what I'm seeing right now in the 10-year kind of looks like the buyer adding to his position. Okay. I'm getting a Florida current COVID hospitalizations at 8,252 versus 8,324 yesterday. So a decrease. That's good.
Uzi Knesset says, I'm thinking here still, if that seller cost basis isn't going up, that must be indicative of there not being enough market buyers to keep the move going up.
Yeah. Well, I think that he is buying on the limit, but it's not. You're right. It's not moving the needle. Okay. Yeah, that's not what you want to see, dude. Like they're stacking pretty heavily on the bids in the 10-year. It's not really showing anything unusual in the 30, but in the 10 they're stacking on it.
Uzi Knesset says I think the best part about this concept is that there's only so many opportunities in a given day. If you play those levels, don't have to worry about taking 50 damn trades.
Right. It's giving you a clue as to which areas actually matter. I don't know if there's really like the trade that we took sorry that you took where you played the bounce off of it. I'm going to bet that the chances that they bounce off of that or not are pretty random. But we could certainly use the situation to determine what will happen in those spots. Or you wait until you have a time when you can see where this can turn. Okay, so now we're getting some bullish sentiment coming and pushing above the open. Okay. They pulled one of the big orders at 14.5. And now he's stacking at 15. What the hell? Okay. I'm still seeing Florida numbers come out.
Uzi Knesset says oh for sure, I was just looking at the floor, with a bid stacking there or pulling, offers stacking or pulling there. I mean, that's about the apex of what we can really do when looking at a level.
Right. Okay, so there was a pretty solid turn up there in the E-mini, and now they've pulled back to the open. And as they did so, the treasuries took the opportunity to stack us up another two points, another 2 ticks. And seller cost basis actually decreased, which means that they took some off.
Uzi Knesset says shoulda held on to that one fuck.
Went pretty okay. I don't know though. There's still a good chance this flips, right? Oh, now hold on a second. That something changed in the book. Noticing. Now my squad gives the hospitalizations.
Uzi Knesset says I still think it's gonna come back down.
Right. Well, the Florida numbers, hospitalizations decreasing, that's good, right? I don't know about new cases. New cases is the thing that I want to know. I don't know why we're not seeing that yet. Nah, this is looking really, really bullish now. The last time that we were at these levels in the E-mini, we were down at like 13. I think that this just has to do with the bulls. Sorry, well, we'll call them bears, but the buyers in the treasuries seem to just have a really big advantage. right
Uzi
now.
Knesset says I am thinking I could plot those levels in my other indicator, use the difference between them and price to visualize min, max deviations over a given period.
Yeah, well, so what I'm going to do is, well, I'm going to add a couple of things, right? Because one of them is going to be how much money they've made, and then kind of calculate what their risk could be based on how much profit they have baked in. So that'll give you another level kind of. So if the buyers are winning right now, how far out will they get before they would think about having to turn back down? That makes sense. And then we can see the difference between them with the spread, and that can tell us some other things.
Uzi Knesset says yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so that was a strong buy swing, but the treasuries are still elevated. The sellers are testing the open again. I'm so surprised. And I think this change in the book that I'm seeing suggests to me that the seller is giving up. I'm not really, when I look over at the E-mini, I don't really see a trade for me. Like, I don't really have a real confidence in a direction. And then I look at the 10-year, and the 10-year is clearly up. And I wonder what's going on.
Uzi Knesset says well shit lol.
Right? It just goes, I don't know what the deal is. That 16 is going to go bid now?
Uzi Knesset says ah there it goes, seller cost basis ticked up.
Both of them did. Not a significant amount, but. And meanwhile, the E-mini still looking okay. Well, I tell you what, if the E-mini decides to go, like if they get over 3,200 and break another new high, and they're going to go up to 3,220, I would think that these treasuries would get killed. Look at the way they're trading it. So another local high. Trying to think, what are maybe some other factors that might be making the treasuries bid up? Because it's got to be more than just the E-mini, you know? Oh, Uzi sent me a picture so that just to prove that it was real. That's for sure. I'll believe you. I know you again.
Uzi Knesset says sent you a screenshot so you know it was real lol.
17. All right, well. Oh, we are in the counter trend time period. I forgot about that. Okay. I still think this is going to turn up in the E-mini. Am I
Uzi
confident
Knesset
enough
says that
about
was a
it
hell
to
of a
take
winner
an
though
order
watching it go
now?
all the way to 11. Shoulda grabbed my nuts on it PA50.
If I get the open, I am. Yeah, well, I'm wondering what were some things that would have let us known that it was going to continue through once it got up there, because I really thought, it could bounce and then turn back down again. I don't know, like look at them go again. Now they're going to take 17. Okay.
Uzi Knesset says I mean hell, even the sprees between cost bases would have been more than enough acceptable risk
Yeah,
for me. That's how I think of it. Acceptable risk on trades I take off around those levels.
I think so. I think I'm most interested in the when it gets down to that level and just getting involved as they push against each other. Okay, well, we're seeing quite a bit of, I don't know. I'm not seeing, is the VIX coming up significantly? Hell, my data for the VIX is delayed. I don't see the VIX like 20 minutes ago perspective. It's not
Uzi
spiking
Knesset
up.
says even printed a new high off it. Gotta tip my hat on that one, bro.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. No, I don't know how. Mm. So now, oh, hold on. When I said that they were stacking and it looked like that the buyer was adding on to it, I think that was a correct read. Now in retrospect, like really for this thing that I'm on, I don't know. I can still believe in it, but I think that the correct the correct thing to have done would have been that when they started stacking at 14 to have um you know bought out, scratch it. Okay, now they're selling 16.5. Gonna try one more crazy one. All right.
Uzi Knesset says, yeah, the levels are solid even historically. They hold some weight, but we still got to remember our other knowledge about order flow and stuff. Can't just 100% bank on it.
Right. But there is another part of this, Susie, and that is we're trying to see. I'm paying more attention to the minimum amount that's been placed on a level, because if certain orders flow, I'm basically trying to determine how many of the orders that are sitting at a certain price are, really want to maintain their position in the queue. So that's the other part. That's why I got the created the minimum there. Although it's telling me mostly what the maximum is, but it's the minimum for like everything altogether, and it's not the minimum at each price, which is what I think I need to do. Okay, now this is looking really good. Oil reports in 30 seconds. Curious that's the E-mini's pushing that.
Uzi Knesset says, yeah, you work in the nuance now?
Yeah. Because I'm wondering if that's one of the things, because Gary Rich is always making fun of me about my read on order flow, because I do seem to care more about the stacks than the pulls, even though I know that the pulls are really the thing that matters, right? It's like when it pulls and there's not really a whole lot there to hold the price that really wants to take it, and then it goes through it. That's when price really moves, right? If I've learned anything from my histograms, it's that polling seems to be more indicative of when price is going to move than stacking. But in that one case, it stacked and it did move up, and that's kind of a rare occasion. Okay, so there was the oil report. Looks like they're buying.
Uzi Knesset says cowards and pain equals profit lol.
I guess. So it looks like oil is buying off of that report. I think that's beneficial. We are getting back up to the cost basis in the E-mini, and here again, this is what I was talking about. So one of our questions was, when you get there, what does it look like? And it seems like fighting to me. Okay, Florida coronavirus cases was higher than yesterday. It was 13,837 versus 10,076. Okay, so their cases rise 4.6 versus 7-day average of 4.4. For a Wednesday, that's not bad actually. So, right, on Wednesday and Thursday, we do expect it to be a little bit higher, if not equal to the average. But since it's only spot 2 more than the average, that's good. That would be in line with if overall cases was on the decline. Because we're kind of at the plateau area, right? Okay. I have to draw that. Now I have to draw that in my head. If this is coronavirus cases, this is the average. And what we get is this, because Thursday and Fridays are bigger.
Uzi Knesset
right?
says, ok, watching ZB keep climbing is hurting my feelings now.
Right. So if we're on the downside, how much this is when we're on the upside is a good indication of whether we're going up or down. So on this side, it was like, 2%. Now on this right here, I think this is where we are, and it's 0.2. So what we're seeing seems to be an indicative that our model of coronavirus cases in Florida and those areas is starting to trail off and decline. It is in line with that expectation. And the E-mini is up. I'm not seeing a huge reaction to that news overall, but now in the Treasury, we're still got all of these stacks between 17 and 16. So now is the fun test where we see if they pull at all or not. Given the way that they stacked, they are unlikely to do so. But with the way the E-mini is trading, and this comes back to, is there some reason? Well, there are some bill auctions today in about an hour, so that could be a factor. Yeah. Florida posts 156 deaths, so we should expect to see deaths a little bit higher because, that just trails new cases. Ooh, they're getting close to the high now. So if the E-mini decides to break this, I think it could be interesting because I think that we could get a 10-point swing very quickly. Okay. Close, not a new high. Florida daily positivity rate, it was 12.9 versus 13.6. So the positivity rate is declining. I wondered because a lot of people were saying, "Oh, in Florida, there were places reporting 100% positivity rate." I'm interested to see if there were explanations of that. Hmm. So here's an interesting thought. Futures Trader 71 quoting Abraham Lincoln, EdgeClear quoting this Abraham Lincoln. Give me 6 hours to chop down a tree and I will spend the first 4 sharpening the axe. And Future Trader 71 says, truth best to spend time doing homework, research, and prep. Then our execution is clean and clear. Trading hours are more about patience than actively formulating a plan. But wouldn't that suggest that researching into fundamentals rather than, right? I mean, am I wrong? This kind of goes back to one of these things. It's interesting, though, when we look at what we push for our education and like if Futures Trader 71 was going to do a webinar, right? He might talk about well, actually, he doesn't really talk about technical things very often, does he? He kind of talks more like risk management and stuff like that. But it would be interesting if he did a webinar that was like, here's some research that I've done about the market, about the fundamentals. I bet you, though, that if he did that, well, he did do that. When he did that one about the repo market, I bet you that one wasn't as well attended. Hmm. Well, I have to say, I really like Futures Trader 71. Mm-mm. But it's just this thing that it's not the fault of him or anybody else. It's the fault of the retail trading industry in general. The things that we care about probably aren't the things that we should. And that's why we have such a hard time being successful. Okay, so here they're testing them, right? So I think that the sellers certainly have some room to try and hold this. So I think that we could, they could hold it potentially even up to 32.10. But, well, ES is completely horizontal right now. Do you think we should wait till it breaks? I'm not really sure where it... Okay. Florida hospitalizations up 321 in the past 24 hours. Okay. So that was some stops on a short-term basis. I don't think that the wider thing has happened. Okay. So that was absolutely right there, the seller saying, get back.
Aliyah Muhammad says what's your profit stop loss on the YM?
Well, I don't trade YM, but I trade in the E-mini, and I kind of just depends. What I have down in there right now is, I like to keep it far enough away that you can't see it. So here's an interesting thing is that the coronavirus information is supposed to be going directly to the government instead of the CDC. And I see all of the liberals on Twitter today saying, "Oh, they're trying to hide the information." And I'm like, "Well, what information has been hidden from you?" So you're suggesting that, but where has it happened? Cuz I'm getting data still, dude. They're still reporting data. So, well, let's ask him. Let's ask Paul. Or no, John Marshall is who it was. Okay.
PRTRADERSOS says the CDC is a non-gov body. So why
Yeah,
would you
it's
let
a
them manage your
non-government
data?
body.
Kenny
agree.
Desmond says I am in love with Novavax.
No, I'm just going to ask him. I want to know if they can actually say, here's a piece of information that we don't have now. Can they point to one? Well, I tell you what, even though the E-mini is looking pretty good and like the E-mini is, they're looking like they're going to go. Like, the E-mini is starting to look like they're going to try and turn this around and push up to 3220. But the Treasury is not loosening up at all.
PRTRADRSOS says I think it about time the US takes control of their info.
Well, I agree that it should be handled by a government agency, but like, what has changed? I know that they're not. I don't see a change. I'm being told that there's a change, but what is the end result to me? Zero Hedge tweets, bad news for Moderna. More evidence shows COVID-19 antibodies disappear not long after infection. Irrelevant, because the information that we got from Moderna yesterday said that not only did it produce antibodies, but that it created killer T cells. So, irrelevant. We stay long. Interesting tweet, though. But I want to know why the Treasury's holding firm at 17. Oh. I was tweeting in the wrong channel. Okay, well. They're holding just below the recent high that they made pretty good, and they're starting to get some of that unnatural long move sort of action. I don't know though. This is kind of the spot where you start to get little scares here and there, right? Definitely a lot of clickiness. Including in the 10-year. Mm-hmm. Okay. I will do it. I'm in a trade, but I will do it. Are you gonna
Smash the Bid says almost 2 months worth of results using these unreliable technicals. Smash the Bid says.
Let's see. You were saying it was 2 months? I think that we'd really want to see like more than 3, but before we can really, because I've done that before, and then it completely fell apart on me, right? But where was average winning? First thing he does is push over the microphone. Don't touch that. I don't know. It looks like he's so smash the bid. What is it? Average losing trade open loss is negative 51.47, and your average winning trade open profit is 62.29. So does that mean you have an equal risk reward and that it's not uncommon for it to touch your risk? And where is the win rate? Why doesn't it just give you 81%. 81%, but it does look like you get quite a bit of excursion against you. But we still don't know what it is that he uses other than that he talked about level 2 and stuff. Well, maybe it works for you. We're not going to say that there's not some technical that can be done. I think that my argument is kind of more that you're much more likely to find an edge through news than you are through technicals. And that a technical could change on you. It might take 6 months to a year, but they'll change.
Smash the Bid says max risk is no bigger than 4 ticks. It
But your
ranges from 3 to 4 ticks.
But your profit is 4 ticks too. You're hitting 80%, so it's okay. But you're our equal risk reward, basically. You've got something that high probability of winning on equal risk reward is what it looks like. Which we would consider like a scalp strategy. A good scalp strategy. Because 70% would be good, and if you're hitting 80, and you're getting 4 ticks too, that's really good. But I certainly have no clue what you're using to get 80% on 4 ticks. On equal risk reward, there's definitely I'm not sure I'm not convinced that it's something that will last forever, but there's certainly some sort of a tendency that's happening right now, isn't there? And I've never found anything close to that. Can you touch the microphone? Okay, but be careful because the other people are listening, and if it falls over, that hurts their ears. You watching? You're managing this for me, dude. You're managing this. Hopefully, this. I care more about the one in the E-mini than in the 10-year. I'll tell you that much. The 10-year is still an experiment, right? The one in the E-mini was actual. Okay. Careful. I want that to fall over. You're supposed to talk into it. You're supposed to talk into it. You go. Rawr. No.
Smash the bid says only volume. It has worked in high volume environments and low volume.
Oh, that's right. You were saying volume, and it's not. It's not. Yeah, that makes it even more perplexing to me. I don't know how you're doing it, dude. I'd like to know, and so I can test it myself. But I especially on volume, I have no clue where you get something like that. I know it's pretty when you touch it, huh? But I guess the thing that I was getting at though is does those statistics mean that on average it goes 4 ticks against you? So that's really weird to me that you get an 80% win rate, you have an equal risk reward, but that it goes against you so often. Because to get an 80% winner, I would think that you would have it go against you not very much. And it could even suggest that there's a better entry that you can get. Do I have to tickle you to get you to talk to them? There we go. That's the sounds we wanted. Hey, hey, look at me. Sometimes he just loves looking at you, but sometimes he doesn't. Now it's coming back to the open. I don't know. That was a good excursion, but it's not coming through. Hey, you'll roar for me? I don't think he's gonna do it. When you jump, bow, 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 bow. My arms are getting tired. Or we run out of new requests there. Hold on. He's fascinated with the mic. Yeah, Sierra's chat's stats can be confusing. So your average trade open loss is 24. That makes a bit more sense. That it would maybe go 2 ticks against you. Okay, so I am seeing that the Florida positivity rate is 15%. That might be part of the reason for the selling. I think that because I'm not paying attention, that I should, well, what happens, happens. I have stop set. It's fine. It's fine. It's not real money. It's a sim account. It's an experimental sim account, in fact. Because I don't really have a good, clear direction. A good, clear daily direction is not. The market's been doing that. You want to see? Do you like the change that I made? Do you like the yellow right there? It's pretty cool, right? I think it looks nice. I like it that way. I'm going to change the defaults to make it like that. Fitch ratings. We assume oil demand will return to 2019 levels by the end of 2021. Is this not fun enough for you, bud? Or you're kind of bouncing around? Woo, woo, woo. Woo, woo, woo. Woo, woo, woo. Oh yeah, so you're saying that he's fascinated that you should show him the mouse, but what he really likes is to type on the keyboard. But I'm not going to do that today. You need to get him his own keyboard. You need to get you your own keyboard. Okay, they're excurging. They're pushing through the open again. We'll put you over here. Give you a toy. What's this? You good? Uh-oh. You getting a bit of spit up there? Yeah. And there's your ball. Is the ball still your favorite, or do you want to move? Well, the Treasury is coming back nicely. So once again, the E-mini and the Treasury don't really seem to be very much in line with each other, do they? It's got to be. I don't know if it's something as different as moving the E-mini up. Or sorry, maybe there was something different driving the Treasuries up today that I'm just not aware of. I think that that's a solid theory. I don't know if there's really any way for me to know either way, though. We'll probably just forget about the question entirely. Oh, all right. All right. All right. You want to be here. You want to look at all of the pretty colors.
Live Action says he's fascinated with that mic. Show him the mouse smiley face. Smash the Bid says my average trade open loss is $24. My average trade open profit is $54. Sierra's stats can be confusing.
Run out of requests there. It's reading old stuff. No, stop. There we go. That's what I'm looking for. Here, what about this? Huh. You don't want to play that game either, huh? And there is a bill auction. I guess that would be the best candidate for what, the other thing that's driving the treasuries up. Hmm. Oh, mommy left the dogs outside. Let's go let the dogs in. Oop, we're back. Oh wait, we closed. We didn't close the door. We didn't close the door. Gotta close the door. For 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 cuteness sake, please hit like. I was trying to get into talk for you guys. He can be really chatty sometimes, but yeah, I guess he's camera shy. Are you camera shy? Look, look, that's you. Do you see yourself? Hi, hi. Treasury to auction off 17 billion of 20-year bonds next week. Yeah. I think that's a very good observation, Asher. I think the people at home appreciate that. Boom, 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 boom. You trying to jump? I'm just kind of hanging on right now. He doesn't want to play that game. He just wants the binky, apparently. Oh, oh, they're gonna stop. No, maybe, maybe not. Maybe, maybe not. Sigh. I could have gotten out of that if I was paying attention, right? I don't think I'm going to be taking any serious trades. So I'm on support for the next week, so I probably will continue with this experiment in the treasury and see if we can get one where we absorb against it for a long time and it actually goes our way. I don't know if it's ever going to happen. I think overall, like the initial entry on that first one was really great, and I think there was some real upside potential on it, but they just didn't quite go far enough. What's wrong? You want to be long again? Yeah, it's okay. We still got this one. We still got this one over here. It could still work. It could still work. Probably not. Oh, I know. Where's Ace? I'm getting some sounds out of him. This goes up. Well, I'll try it. One, even though I don't know what's going on. Feds Williams is speaking. You getting bored? You getting bored? You want to see me? Look at me. Uh, Can I put you down? What do you want? You just want me to look at you more directly? Look at this toy. This toy is so cool. You like that, don't you? Whose baby is my baby? He was born in February. Treasuries will build for some time before the move. You think they're going to move back down live action? It seems like they should. The book has definitely become more equal, but any good tips, books to study? Been trading the YM last 2 months, 20-point profit and 20-point loss, which sucks. Well, if you've only been trading for a month, Elia, I wouldn't necessarily be expecting to make money or lose money. So trading is very hard, and it takes most people several years before they figure it out. I have a video. If you go to my page, like the main page, I have a video about the main books that I think you should read. Once you've read those books, then you should have a really good idea of the things that you want to look into. I suggest, though, the biggest thing that you can do is just read a lot of news. Read a lot of financial news. The COVID kid. Yeah, he was basically born in the midst of the. He's never known a normal world. Never been to church. Okay, I'm gonna try it again. Yeah. You went to be. Here, have a bean. And here I have a dragon. That's a dragon. Are you trying to throw the dragon out? I don't think he wants to play with the dragon. Damn it. Oh, did I get stopped out that fast? God damn it. Yeah, so there's no. Those were all on the experimental account in MES, but obviously the long is not working. Had some good upside. I don't know what the deal is. It's kind of an extended down move. I wonder. Probably, well, part of my problem is on the ES is that if I'm trying to do it off, like, well, I'm not really using that, but um, probably a part of the problem is I lost my thought. Probably part of the problem is I'm not really paying attention. I mean, the one in the treasury looks like it's coming back. So I didn't see any other unusual moves. I see the 30-year ticked out. Yeah. Are you hungry? You look sleepy to me. Okay, let's turn this on. Vibration. Okay, so what am I noticing here? They traded through 16.5. It did not take 3,000 contracts to do it. Okay. Well, it looks like they're going to go and make another attempt. You were messing with hogs? That's live action. That's interesting. Lean hogs. That's going better than I thought. If I just keep talking, that'll calm him down too. He loves to be spoken to, don't you? Especially in normal analytical voices. Well, we should think about what has been going on today. So it's getting close. 10 minutes. Well, let's see here. We came in today and we saw an opportunity to short the treasuries, but the E-mini hasn't really pushed up. There's been some attempts, but haven't really been able to make much of it. And it's just kind of been stuck in this range down here, but we do see an opportunity for them to go up to our volatility target at 32.20. But for whatever reason, the treasuries seemed unusually strong, bid it up pretty good. And maybe now they're going to come all the way back for us, but it'll be interesting. So it'll be interesting if they come back, if they're going to go back to 14. 14 is kind of the spot I'm going to be watching if they come back. And then we'll see what happens there. He's staring longingly at the dragon's tail. Can't see him. I wish it was easier to reposition my webcam, but okay, that was a good take. Let's see how much it takes to get between 16 and 15.5, because that was where we initially started to see the bidders stack, right? Oh, what's wrong, bud? Your feet came undone. There you go. want me to hold you? Ooh. Okay. Here, I've got you. Gotcha. You can see now. Don't give me that sigh. You're so stupid, Dad. Why didn't you just hold me the whole time? Are you just cranky and tired? Do we need to hold you and walk around? Okay. Okay, we'll do that. We can do that. We've done this before in this room during spring. You know that? Yeah, we have. You don't believe me? Somebody tired. Hold my hand. Oh, you're fine. What's wrong? You want me to play? What? Are you hungry? Okay. We're gonna let this one run. I'm gonna go get him a bottle. Let's see here. Ace, and I missed the baby? Well, he's still kind of there. He's been getting the good stuff. Go to college, get a good job, and stay away from trading. Yeah, probably. Well, I think that I can leave these alone. I don't know, man. I don't know what the deal has been with the longs. Like, there's been some really good looking longs, but it looks like today is a very range bound day so far. Um, we are getting a lot of headlines. I keep hearing the guy talk, but I don't know what he's been saying. But I know that Feds Williams is speaking right now, and we had the 8 week bill auctions. So I don't know. Thursday. Well, today is Thursday. Friday is going to be a really interesting day because there's not been a lot of super conclusive action this week. I don't know. Do you know, and can you tell me how the earnings report affects the market? Well, so first thing is that stocks you kind of want to avoid earnings reports. If you want to take a trade on the earnings report, you want to be in it like a week, 2 weeks before it happens, right? And but the key thing is you got to know what their business is, right? Like, go and read One Up on Wall Street by Peter Lynch, and he talks about these things. But you're going to have to look at their cash flows, what sort of things they make money on, and how their different business segments are doing, and all that stuff. It's, you got to do a fair analysis. And once you do an analysis, you'll be able to tell where participants in the markets are expecting certain metrics from their earnings to come out at. And that's how you can kind of generate your own expectation about what the earnings are going to be, so that you can say, okay, were the earnings better or worse than what I thought, and so forth. Because like the earnings per share and that sort of information is probably not enough analysis to understand how the earnings are going to be affected. But overall, I'm not a huge fan of playing earnings. I like playing stocks on a longer time frame. If you want to trade short term, I think it's a much better game in futures. And then, the equivalent of that would be economic releases, which can have great opportunities. Anyways, I got to get going because I got a work meeting here in a bit. So I don't know how this turns out. Overall, though, it seems like that they're fighting back and forth, but that the bears seem to be pretty persistent. So we'll see. We'll see where it goes from here. Looks like over there in the treasuries that they're still bidding that up as well. So we'll see what happens. I will see you guys. One of the things is that with bearish sentiment is coming back in, I kind of want to go back into hibernation. So I will see you guys tomorrow, and in the meantime, stay profitable, friends.